Side yard.
And then you minimize.
I didn't get a chance to read that. I don't get the advanced copies. I gotta get those. You sent me the notice.
Yeah, I think your email when they did that changeover last year,
Yeah.
you need to talk to Camille in the
Yeah.
yellow shirt.
No.
Get you Mine was, they had a tech person call me and it took about 4 minutes on the phone.
Okay.
Wasn't bad.
Ready whenever you are.
It's not 5 o'clock.
Not 5.
Oh, excuse me, after a few seconds, I thought, okay,
Close.
I'm sorry.
The clock on the wall is very fast.
I was gonna say that it was always a little wrong, but now it's really wrong.
Yes. Because I was looking at that and then I was looking at the computer and I'm like, oh, these times are not matching. Okay. 5.
Okay, we're 5.
Okay.
All right, we'll call this meeting to order of the Zoning and Adjustment Board for March 12th, 2004. We'll start off by approval of minutes for our February 13th meeting. If anyone has any comments or would like to make a motion.
I have read and I looked that we approved the minutes as written.
A motion by Mr. O'Hara. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes have been approved. So old business, we have none. We'll go on to new business. Agenda for 2118 Whitney Oaks Drive, PID 615-96215.000. They're requesting a 2.5-foot variance or 25% setback variance for a 2-story detached garage. So Wade, if you want to present this.
Can you scroll on down and the vicinity map for that, please?
Pretty good size yard.
There you go. Okay, thank you. As you see, it's on the south side of Whitney Oaks. There's a photo of the house there next to it. This is in the R1 Single Family Zoning District. And the specific request is for a detached garage in their side yard on the east side of the lot. To be closer than the standard 10-foot side yard setback. The reason this is a 10-foot setback is because the proposed garage is greater than 1 story in height. Whenever our regulations require that accessory structures like garages that are over 1 story in height, they have to have a greater setback, in this case 10 feet for this one. In this specific situation, he's asking for a 25% variance from that to allow a garage for a large saltwater boat to be housed in there. Points out that the 10-foot required setback will not allow room to add a walk-in door to the front driveway facing the side of the garage. You can see, you can scroll down a little bit. Yeah, there's the layout. The house is shown from in the dashed line at the center of it. The proposed garage is there in the gray, and you can see how it aligns with the driveway. Going down, there's some plans of the, keep on going to the interior of or the layout of the garage. Keep going, please. There you go. Is there a way to rotate that counterclockwise? So it kind of gets the line right. Okay, well, you can see here in your book, but this is the elevation of it. As you can see, this the wall to face the east is a blank wall. There he's proposing some also outdoor kitchen on the house side of it, and then the garage doors would face the street. think that pretty well sums up the request here. The applicant's here if you have questions for him. I can answer any other questions you might have at this time. Thank you.
I have a question about the height of the structure. Can we look at that since some of it we can't read? So I guess looking at that front elevation drawing on the bottom right.
My recollection note of that is like it's 20 feet to the midpoint of the roof and to the peak, they would add another 8 feet to that, I believe. Is that correct on that?
We're the neighbors, so we're here to talk
Okay,
about our opinion.
okay.
Okay, so roughly in the 28%.
It's 2 stories.
Mhm. Okay. Anybody else have a question for Wade?
And you are the neighbors?
Yes.
Okay, and I want to ask you if any neighbors have any questions.
Yeah, so I have a question. With regard to this side door, just kind of walk me through that again. So, because the request is based on the appropriate, anyway, the side door.
Well, let me see if I can explain it. He's proposing, let me back up some,
So let's look at page, 5?
page 5, we'll take care of it. As you can see, on that side toward the house, there's a bump out proposed that's be a covered area, I believe with the outdoor kitchen area. But he's also wanting, you see, go to the, let me see which one I can find here. Go down, scroll down to the next one that shows the elevation. One more.
Is that the side
I
door?
believe that's, yes.
Are you talking about
On the first floor
walking door to
diagram?
the front?
The
So
front
this
Last
door-
barn
page.
door.
I believe he's mentioning this door. Because that would be a
To go-
garage door.
Right,
This
and so
brings you
this-
to this little outdoor kitchen.
And this impacts the,
This
and
would-
without that door,
It's, I know, hard to see these. So this would be the road. That's their driveway. This is the home. That would be the outdoor kitchen, facing the backyard.
all right,
rear
and the
of
door in
house.
question is,
I believe that's the only door I'm seeing is the one that goes to the kitchen.
Right, on these plans.
and so I'm clear why, I don't understand how having a door to the kitchen impacts the.
Without the applicant here, it's hard.
Yeah, I would just, that's the only part I couldn't
Yeah.
follow, so.
Yeah.
that was my question.
Okay. Any other questions for Wade?
So I'm just looking at it, so again, there's no front entry other than the
Garage
sliding
doors.
These- the
doors
two,
for the boat, I guess. From what I see.
Yeah, a garage door in the front, or whatever they are. So the right elevation shows you that door.
Right onto the side.
Facing the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions for Wade?
No?
And so is the applicant here to speak? No? So do we have anybody else to speak for?
Not for.
Okay, do we have anybody to speak against? Okay, just go to the podium and state your name and address.
Cassie's out.
Sure, who are you?
I'm Sean Gilly. I'm her husband.
Okay,
We're the immediate neighbors from next door on the side of the structure.
To the left.
before you speak, we want to ask that these be entered into our minutes, please. Thank you.
Don't we have to make a motion to?
Okay, so would anybody like to make a motion to accept these into our minutes?
Oh, sure. I'll Make a motion to accept the pictures that were just given to us to be entered into the record.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion approved. Thank
Before we
you.
start, Camille, could you go back to the vicinity map so that we can where these folks are? Hold it outside.
What was your name and address? My name is Deborah Gilly. My address is 2120 Whitney Oaks. My home is the one immediately on the left in the picture of the Swartz house. And my husband Sean is also here.
So you're facing the, you said to the left, trying to get oriented here.
So in the picture that is being shown to you, our house is the one that is immediately on the left, so we will be beside the new building. that
Okay.
we're wanting.
Okay, that's how it's
Closest to
yeah.
the
The driveway
the
side.
driveway.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine.
So I was hoping that Justin Sword would be here to answer some questions. Because one of the things that I wanted to bring up is the fact that this garage, which his wife refers to as a shed, and I have copies of the text that she sent me that I can also give you, is really for a business purpose. Mr. Sword runs American Bait Works, and he is a fisherman. He does bait and tackle, fishing rods, etc., and these boats are for his business. He also runs a business called the Tethered Skiff, which is a clothing apparel business, and he needs additional storage for his clothing line. And then he also wants to build another office. And so when we got the request for the zoning assessment, I texted Brooke, his wife, and I said, could you tell me what's going on? And her exact texts were, we are essentially building a big shed that will house our large and small boats. The upstairs will be Justin's home office and room for our Tethered Skiff apparel. We've had the big boat and apparel inventory stored at our building in Van Cleve, but we're turning that into a batting cage. And then went on to say that, sorry, that was a repeat. And then we're planning to do the outdoor kitchen patio on the side of the shed to face the pool. This gives us more storage area. And then went on to say that it will be metal with a barn door, possibly stone around the bottom of the front, measuring 24 by 40. So we're talking almost 1,000 square foot footprint when their home is 2,800 square feet. That is an enormous footprint. And I wanted to bring to you the fact that our neighborhood is an all brick neighborhood with, and the sides of our homes are brick. There's a little bit of stucco on the front, and we have very restrictive covenants in our neighborhood. And they very specifically say that any new outbuildings, garages, need to match the style of the residents on the lot. And garage doors need to be automatic garage doors. I mean, there's a lot of things that go along with that as well. But my big concern is this is a business venture, and this is a residential neighborhood. This is not a business place. And I spoke with a number of our neighbors this week. I have a letter from one, and we don't feel that this is appropriate for our neighborhood. Our homes are roughly between $550,000 and $750,000, and to have a big shed in our neighborhood that is not of the same style of our other homes is an enormous footprint and wants a zoning easement to be closer to our home. I just would like to know, would you want that in your neighborhood?
Do you have a neighborhood association?
They have covenants and restrictions.
We have covenants that are very specific about garages, businesses, buildings, all of these things, and they're on file. So, this caught everybody off guard, and their home isn't 2 stories, and yet they're building a 2-story building. My question is, if this were being proposed next to your house, would you want it? How would you feel about it? If it didn't fit your neighborhood, if it didn't match your covenant, if it was for a business purpose, is it something you would support? If they want to come back with something that fits, if it's something for their personal expansion, then we're not against it. But we are against what its purpose is, and I don't know, do you want copies of the text from Brooke?
I mean, that's up to you if you want to submit them, but you read them into the, to be part of the recording, so they're in the.
And she even sent me copies of other sheds and said, this is what we're basing it off of.
I belong in a neighborhood with a very good homeowners association, and covenants and all rules that we follow. We usually make a decision within the subdivision. Has this been brought up to the
It
subdivision
has
board?
not been brought up to the subdivision.
Came directly to the city.
It came directly and bypassed all of us.
So, don't want to cut you off. Is there anything else before I go back to, okay.
No, I mean, that was basically what we wanted to say,
Okay.
was that when I did bring it up to the people in the neighborhood, they were all very surprised.
Okay.
And as I said, I have a letter from one, and I just said that we were coming and sharing what they felt in the meeting
Okay.
today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this application? Wade, can we talk a moment about the covenants and restrictions that's usually attached at the act of sale when you purchase in a subdivision that has pre-existing, covenants and restrictions? So I believe the neighborhood can probably do a stop work on their own, or how does that come into play?
That would be a private matter between the neighbors. That's exactly right. I mean, that's something that they don't discuss with their attorneys. Covenants, since we, as a city, don't have any authority to enforce them.
It's the homeownership association.
The homeowners. But again, it's
Okay.
not something that the city gets involved in.
Okay. And just to recap, they're asking for the variance of 2.5 feet or 25%, which would be, 7.5 feet buffer that they're leaving. And the second is the height. It exceeds the height limitations. What is the percentage again for a shed square footage calculation based on your square foot of your dwelling?
It's based on the.
Is it 30?
It's 40% of the
Yeah.
principal dwelling.
So it's larger.
So his was, I remember
Than that.
going through emails with Mr. Swart about that, and based on the information he gave me about the size of his house, this was, it was below it did not exceed.
So it doesn't,
40%.
it's above.
It's less than 40%.
Okay, so we're good with at least that formula, but there's no exceptional narrowness to the lot. It's a typical size lot. Those were really the notes I had. Does anyone else have any further?
Yes, the application doesn't, other than what's written in here, it doesn't specify any particular items that we look for, like in the UDC, the narrowness of the property or the topographical issues or any kind of exceptional difficulties that come to bear with.
Doesn't cause a
without the-
hardship.
Without the shed, without the garage.
I think I summarized it as what he had provided to me as his reasoning for it, and I think the application, his application itself is part of the file, and attach to that so you can see what he presented as far as his justification.
All right, do we have
Is that it?
anything?
I didn't see the actual application,
Actually, I'm sorry, it doesn't appear to me.
Mm-mm.
but I guess you summarized it.
Yeah. Maybe it didn't copy over, I'm not sure, I'm sorry about that. I usually put that in as part of the
Packet.
package. But it was summarized in the report is what he provided to me.
Well, and my comment would be, it appears to be a procedural matter, does it not? We would like to have your house in order, so to speak, in the garage, she shed, whatever, and then come before the committee for variances that have been applied for. It just seems like we're out of sync here, is based on what I'm hearing.
Well, there's also the overriding covenants and restrictions of the subdivision.
So that's what- that's
Yeah,
what I'm referring to.
Okay, yeah.
Right, yeah. Ours is-
So until that's resolved, I don't understand why it's really come before us. Right, we're not in the
It's out of
business of
our-
overruling, yeah, we're not in the
Yeah.
business of
It's not, I
overruling.
mean,
Yeah, we're overruling an HOA, or,
Yeah.
you know, that's my opinion.
Okay, so do we have, anyone wants to make a motion on this?
I could make a motion on what we have. you know. Yes, the owner could have, but he's not here to hold it until more information, but we could act on what we have in front of us. But I'll give it a shot.
All right.
Like to recommend denial of a variance of 25% from the minimum side setback distance for accessory buildings to allow 7.5-foot setback from the east property line at 2118 Whitney Oaks as shown on the site plan. And I could add, due to nonconformance to UDC criteria
For height and setback minimum.
for height and minimum setback.
Okay, we have a motion of denial. We have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor? All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, so next on our agenda would be audience requests. No one has any. We'll be moving on to adjourning our meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Oh,
well,
excuse
so one thing I
me.
just wanted to add on this, that this item will go to the
So
Board
sorry.
of Aldermen for final action.
Okay.
Be on
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday's.
Same
Board of
room.
Aldermen meeting.
Okay.
6 o'clock?
Well, I'm glad I was here tonight then, because I am sick and tired of seeing the Board of Aldermen vote for things that shouldn't be voted for. You clearly heard what she said about the fact that there is an HOA. That did not apply to that. They're wanting to build something for business in a residential neighborhood, and it shouldn't be allowed. Just so we can get more money from people, we need to quit letting them do just whatever the heck they want to do.
Y'all have a good
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
All right.
being allowed to speak.
Sure, good night. All right, cut your mic.